Thank you, Ragini and the UniConnect team for organizing this. My name is Mishi Sardana. I'm the regional advisor for Queen Mary, looking after South Asia region, and specifically also focusing on undergrad student outreach as well, alongside marketing and postgraduate outreach and marketing for students. Now, Queen Mary is a very popular name. For those of you who've not heard about us, we will start probably introduce UK first as to why it's a popular destination. And moving on, we will cover some unique points about Queen Mary and why you should consider it for your undergraduate studies at Queen Mary and in the UK as well. So firstly, UK is one of the most popular destinations, given that it is very welcoming in nature to different types of students and different types of people from across the world. Also, having a close connectivity between UK and India adds to this comfort of parents as well as students, business travel, and leisure as well. So you definitely can reach your destination within 8 hours or so, and that makes life pretty simple in comparison to some other destinations which are at the other part of the world. Also, UK is home to some of the best universities across who are popular for its research as well as STEM courses, ranging from about 36,000 undergrad courses across about 400 providers and in the UK itself. Last year, we saw a great increase in the number of international students, and that is probably because of the graduate route. For those of you who are not aware of that, I will elaborate on that later on in the presentation. But yes, UK is home to a lot of big firms, some international firms, again, both across the STEM field as well as other creative industries as well. Being the political capital, it also brings a lot of opportunities of business. London being the political capital, it also brings a lot of opportunities for students as well. The degrees are recognized all across the world. And yes, it definitely gives you that extra competitive edge if you study from abroad in comparison if you're studying at home. So the second question comes down to the number of universities. There are a huge number of universities. I think more than 100 universities are there in the UK. And particularly, there are divided into different categories like red brick universities, modern universities, Russell Group universities, etc. I won't get into the classification of it, but what is important is how you choose your university when you have chosen a particular subject. So first things first, you have to definitely look at the university from the subject point of view, from the curriculum point of view. Most universities are quite transparent and they provide a curriculum for 3 years across their websites. And you can also find a lot about their professors that are teaching the course. Particularly, Queen Mary per se, you can find our entire curriculum along with the dissertation topics that some people have done, as well as the option of choosing electives in the courses, which definitely gives you a very good idea at what your degree or what your path would be around. Also, you have to keep in mind whether the university is offering an industrial placement or study abroad opportunities, because that definitely adds to your overall experience. You get the opportunity to work in the industry for 9 months and earn a stipend. And sometimes it's sandwiched within the courses. It's called like a sandwich course or an industrial placement course. And there are also partner universities and tie-ups across the world with different universities, where you get an option of either doing the entire year or a semester or a couple of months abroad as well. Also, I think the focus should be after the curriculum, the second most important thing that you have to look at is the resources and the facilities at the university. So make sure the course you're going for, it has a great lab and infrastructure available. For instance, we have the Bloomberg Terminal for the School of Economics and Finance, or we have the Fluid Mechanics Lab or the Thermodynamics Lab if you're coming for engineering or biomedical science. We also have a robotics lab, etc. as well. So this and all the facilities and infrastructure do add or enhance your experience altogether. And the more you practice on these practical skills, the more confident you become. I also feel that students should look at the professors that are teaching at the university. Sometimes the bio or the information about the professors are given on the website. This definitely gives you an idea about their subject matter expertise and will also kind of help you understand, especially if you're into research, as to what sort of niche area you can select later on and what is the sort of knowledge of the professor or the doctor that is going to be teaching you. With regards to some other things that should be kept in consideration, you have to look at the location and how it's connected across the world, especially across UK and London area as well. I'm always talking about Queen Mary per se, but yes, do look at the connectivity aspect from whether if you're going for a part-time job, you don't want to be working in a remote village where there's no transport and you have to wait 20 minutes for a bus, or you have to do Uber, or like you have to be somewhere where the train and the the London transport is available easily to you, so you can go and enjoy, and it doesn't feel very far off. Because trust me, as a student, you may not have enough to rent a car every now and then or afford a car because of the insurances, etc. And trust me, Uber is still expensive. It is definitely expensive on a student budget. Yes. So definitely look at the location and the transport links for the university. One more very important aspect of the university life is focused on your student life, which particularly talks about the extracurriculars that the university offers, the various clubs, or things that can enhance your overall experience and give you a networking opportunity. Last but not the least, yes, you should definitely look at the cost as well as the living expenses and scholarships in mind when you're planning for a 3-year course at the university or a master's at the university. Moving on, for undergraduate recruitment, all of our applications are through UCAS. UCAS allows you to fill up to 5 different universities, and the deadlines are available on the website. I will not get into the much depth of it because I'm sure your school counselors and the counselors here at UniConnect will be able to give you a detailed explanation of that. But yes, you must research the course, try to narrow it down to the 5 universities that you're going to be applying to. And probably most important things, apply on time for all these universities. For instance, the Oxford and Cambridge and the medicine deadline is around 15th of October. So make sure you have met the entry requirements, provided your predicted grades when you apply for the medicine deadline or the Oxford Cambridge deadline. Also, the application cost is around £27 now, and that allows you to apply up to 5 different universities. You have to make sure you apply by the equal consideration deadline so that it's a fair process for all of you. Once you apply to UCAS, the documents that you require for this UCAS application is your 10th mark sheets, your predicted grades from your school, your personal statement, letter of reference from preferably the teacher that you've applied from the teacher for which course you're going for. And also, I would say we require the English language criteria as well for IELTS, TOEFL, etc. We do give some exemption, but you have to check with each university if they can provide an exemption or not. Moving on, a very big part of UCAS application is your personal statement, which should be around 4,000 characters. The UCAS, the personal statement should be like 80-20, 80% talking about your academic and probably 20% talking about your extracurriculars. There's no hard and fast rule as such, but please keep in mind the personal statement goes to all the 5 universities. So make sure that you are talking about your passion for studying in the UK, probably the common subject that is there, and try to weave your skill and your strength into the personal statement and how it would help you excel the course when you're coming there for studying to a British or a UK university. Also, another interesting aspect of the UCAS application is firm and insurance. What that means is the 5 universities that you pick, you have to be strategic about your choices. Say, for instance, the first 2 choices can be your dream university, and the third and the fourth choice can be your practical choices. God forbid if the IB or A levels or CBSE results have not gone up to the mark. So you have the third and fourth choice available and you're meeting their entry requirement. And your fifth choice can be your backup choice in case, you know, it really goes down the hill, and then you can look at your fifth option as well. So yes, that's how you should be strategically choosing your university. It is very, very important in you know, picking up the right fit for you, the right course, and how you kind of pick these universities. Now, also, when I had earlier mentioned about firm and insurance, you have to choose your firm choice, which means that you are 100% coming to this university if you meet the entry requirements. And insurance choice is like your backup option in case you are not able to meet your offer. So for the students that are there for this presentation, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, the XYZ university requires a 90% in law. That is your firm choice. You're quite sure you'll get it. So you choose it as your firm choice by the certain deadline decided by UCAS. However, say you manage to get 85 and you have an insurance choice for an ABC university, then you would probably be going to the ABC university because the firm choice will reject you since you don't meet their requirements. Again, I don't want to get into the depth of it. Once you've applied, I'm sure your counselors will be able to guide you. Moving on, an interesting aspect of UCAS is the extras and the clearing. Currently, the clearing process is on. It started last week. So clearing is for those students who have decided last minute that they want to come, or their grades have been better and they want to try another university, or they've not thought of UK at all, but now want to come to UK. So clearing or extras is like your last choice, but it's all subject to the space available at the university or not. For instance, we never open our law program for clearing. We have a very high cutoff, so it never comes open. It never becomes open in clearing. So yeah, if you have to apply for law, you better apply early during the UCAS deadlines. So I think I've already covered these deadlines. The applications open around September. The first deadline is for Oxford and Cambridge around October. The second deadline is January, around 26 Jan. And last but not the least, 30th June is your last deadline to apply to UCAS to all the universities. I think I have covered enough about UCAS. I'll probably focus more on Queen Mary now. So Queen Mary University is a Russell Group university. What that means is we are like the, in the best connotation is like we are like the Ivy League of the UK. Russell Groups, there are only 24 of us and we are very popular for research. At Queen Mary per se, the stress is a lot on the research that we do. Our research output ranking, in fact, is 7th. What that means is we try to put all the research output into practical framework for whether it's the curriculum or whether it's into the findings that are there, so that it gives a competitive edge to our students. So yes, having 7th as our research output ranking is pretty strong. Moving on, we also have 9 Nobel Prize winners that are associated with Queen Mary. Our current ranking is it has dropped a bit. It's 124th in QS in the world. So there are various rankings that you can explore. But yes, definitely, we are still one of the highest ranked universities. In medicine and dentistry, we rank in top 5. In law, we have, again, very, very strong ranking. And we have divided our course across different faculties. As shown on my slide, it's medicine and dentistry, science and engineering, and humanities and social science. Now we have 5 campuses across the London area itself, but the main undergrad campus is the Mile End campus, where most of the students would be studying. Now, what makes Queen Mary unique is that we are the only Russell Group to provide our own accommodation in the London area to students for the first year if they apply on time. Also, another big contributing factor is that we have about 180 plus nationalities now studying at Queen Mary. So essentially, you would be making a friend from every part of the world. London per se, I mean, India per se, rather, we are the second largest cohort of students at Queen Mary in terms of student population. This is just an aerial view of what the university looks like. If you can see, it's a big campus. It feels like a sanctuary in an area like London. And you can see that's the London skyline where you can see the Shard and the Gherkin building, etc. So yes, like I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a small Regent's Canal that runs, part of the Regent Canal that run by. If you can see the small green building that is there, it's right there that we have the Regent's Canal building. Regent's Canal by the accommodation building, where a lot of people hang out in the afternoon in between lectures, and also during lunchtime and so on. I also want to mention that because we are the only university to have our own campus in London area, there's a lot of advantages because it's self-sustained. The campus in itself includes a coffee shop, restaurants, 24-hour library, and I think the walk from one end to the other end is approximately 8 to 9 minutes if I do, end-to-end point at the campus. So yeah, if you are not a morning person, you can just roll out of bed and just go into your class. So that'll save you time, especially for the first year. Trust me, it comes out very handy. Now moving on, like I said, we have lots of courses at Queen Mary. The best way to remember about Queen Mary is, or for you guys to remember, especially the counselors that are attending today, that we don't offer architecture, civil engineering, fashion design, mass communication, and hospitality. Rest, we offer almost all the mainstream courses that are available or that are very popular India or South Asia per se. So yes, I have just listed them on my screen. Business management, economics, finance, politics, English drama, geography, and so on. I'm not going to get into the depth of each and every course, but I'll tell you some unique advantages of doing them. For example, all our undergrad courses are 3-year programs. They are mostly BScs, and some of them are BAs. There is an option of doing an year abroad, or an option of doing industrial placement with these courses, particularly for business management, economics and finance, etc. Also in the field of humanities and social science, I would say that we are a political capital, and we have something called the Mile Institute in Queen Mary, which has been very much at the forefront of a lot of national level debates. So we've had dignitaries like Tony Blair, Jeremy Corbyn, Bill Gates come to our campus and address these students. You can also Google about Myland on YouTube, and you'll find a lot of content about the politics and IR relevant topics, where our school is very forthcoming and puts a lot of content out there for students for the exposure. With business management, we have we have ACCA and CIMA accreditation available. So student can gain another qualification. There are few exemptions available to certain number of papers, which can also help them get another qualification on the side along with a BSc degree. Again, economics and finance is, like I said, one of our professors is also featured in the 40 Forbes most popular 40 under 40 kind of list that is there. So yes, it's a very proactive and a very influential school, our economics and finance school. English and drama, I've already mentioned the ranking. We do have creative arts. We have creative arts with English. We often have film studies as well, but film studies does not entail acting or something like that. Very small amount of probably filmmaking is there in the course. The rest of it is very theoretical and research oriented. In geography, we have the environmental science, we have the physical geography as well, the human geography aspect of this field, where the people have done in the past, they have gone over or come to Mumbai to participate, to observe the Dharavi slums in India, etc. And that was part of their geography project as well. Also, again, in this field itself, law is one of the very popular fields for students. Interestingly, we don't require LNAT. We only require 90% in your CBSE, or the 36 in your IB, or A*, AA in your A levels. I can probably talk about entry requirements in our Q&A section. But yeah, with business management, one interesting thing that you guys can probably make a note of is that we don't require maths in the undergrad level in class 12th, as long as you have maths in 10th and you have 80% in maths in 10th. So yeah, that's quite a good news for people who drop out of maths after 10th. They can still apply to our business management courses. We offer business management, marketing management, accounts and management, international business, and so on. Again, the entire list is there on the website, so that will make your life very easy. And economics and finance, however, maths is compulsory, and we require 85% in economics and finance. So with law, I would like to say that there is a program in law. Usually law programs are 3 years, but there's one particular program called Global Law, which is a 4-year program where you can do the 3rd year with our partner institutes from across the world and come back and complete the degree back at Queen Mary campus in the 4th year. So we have some interesting partners like OP Jindal, National Law School Bangalore, Texas University, Hong Kong University, and so on. So yeah, it provides an interesting choice if someone's looking to do a law program at Queen Mary for the coming intake. Moving on to science and engineering, I did mention that we are very popular for STEM courses. In engineering and material sciences per se, all of our courses are mostly recognized, or rather have the accreditation for the Institute of Mechanical Engineering, Institute of Coding, and they also have some of the finest labs when it comes to the facilities for students. We offer biomedical engineering, robotics engineering, sustainable energy engineering, and so on. We also offer electronic engineering, computer science, computer systems, aerospace, mechanical, chemical, and so on. With School of Maths, we offer some very interesting degrees like the financial mathematics or maths as a BSc Actuarial Science as well. With regards to these 3 faculties or these 3 streams particularly, I would say they have some of the finest labs, and they also have very good extracurriculars for students in terms of the societies and clubs for them to explore. So an interesting fact that you may not know about Queen Mary is that we were one of the first universities to teach aeronautical engineering back when the back when the airplanes were invented. And obviously, over the years, we've graduated in teaching this as an aerospace engineering because the industry has evolved completely. People come and do internships or get the opportunity to work in Boeing, in Toyota, in Jaguar, in Rolls-Royce, etc. as part of their, they can apply for internships. There are a lot of events that happen throughout the year, as well as some clubs and societies and competitions that are there to promote the talent and nurture the skills of the student. With regards to physics and astronomy, we are very involved in the research of physics. So we were involved in discovering the Proxima b planet, along with also some of the interesting research is built on the extra ring on the Saturn. Yes, Queen Mary was also involved in that. And again, it is we are the only other university other than UCL to have the biggest telescope. So if a student is into stargazing or astronomy per se, then we are an excellent choice. I know this firsthand that we have some very good faculty members who have a very strong connect across the world, especially across Europe. So we offer integrated masters in physics like MSci, Masters in Science. And then later on, the student can straight away do a PhD program as well, either at Queen Mary or at other partners. So yes, physics and astronomy is a small school, but a very, very well organized and a very proactive school in terms of research. They also offer physics with data science as well as of last year as well. Moving on to bio and chemical sciences, some interesting choices we are seeing off late from India would be BSc Psychology. Our BSc Psychology is BPS accredited, and it also is a holistic course which covers all the aspects of psychology. We also offer biomedical science and BSc Genetics, biochemistry, biology, pharmaceuticals, pharmacology, and so on. So yes, again, there are 3-year programs. The entry requirements would change, and you have to be 18 to do the courses within the School of Bio and Behavioral Sciences, like psychology or biomedical science or medicine and dentistry, etc. Now, Baths in the London. So I think I forgot to mention this, but yes, we are part of 2 hospitals, Baths at the London and Royal London Hospital. We are also in top 5 for medicine and dentistry. From undergrad per se, we're going to talk about MBBS in London. We also offer MBBS in Malta, and we offer BDS, etc. as well. Now for MBBS, as you know, the entry requirements is 15th October. We need a 90% in your CBSE, and we need a UCAT score in your 3rd decile. And this all needs to be submitted at the time of application. And then if the student is shortlisted, then there is an interview in the month of January. It's a Skype interview. And the same thing holds true for BDS as well. We have very limited seats, so we are really looking for the best of the best candidates. If they've done some internships, etc., in the field of medicine, that definitely sets them apart, because we have very limited seats, and we are very careful of who joins Queen Mary for these few courses. With regards to, I would say, with regards to MBBS Malta per se, for those of you who don't know, Malta is 2 hours away from UK, and it is popular for medical tourism. That is why we formed this campus, this degree in conjunction with the Maltese government 5 years ago, and this is MCI recognized as well. And this becomes your sixth option. It becomes your option outside of the UCAS. So you can always apply to this. If you're thinking of China or Ukraine, the student can also think of Malta, because it's an English-speaking country. The degree is Queen Mary degree, and about 80% staff is Queen Mary staff as well. So yes, it's a very interesting choice, and it's also easier on the pockets of parents, because it is similar to what a private college would cost in India. So yes, do talk to your students or the students that are here for today for this session. Please think about MBBS Malta as well. Right. A lot of talking done there, but yeah, let's talk about entry requirements. One interesting thing that I wanted to mention is that we offer foundation courses, international foundation programs. Now, there are a lot of foundations in the market, and we also have a Kaplan foundation, etc. So the difference between Queen Mary Foundation, or if you go through the Kaplan route, is that the Queen Mary Foundation is done inside the campus itself, and you become student of Queen Mary right from day one. The requirement for foundation is a pass percentage. I would say that's the minimum requirement. If you go for an integrated foundation, say for example, our cutoff is 85, but you got 75, and you are not eligible for Queen Mary, it doesn't have to be end of your journey at Queen Mary. You could do an integrated course for making it a 4-year course and start with a foundation year. And the visa you get is also for a 4-year degree. Now, again, different schools have different entry requirements. If you've got a pen and paper handy, I would just say that for undergrad, for business management, it's 85 maths and 80 in maths in 10th. For economics and finance, it's 85%. Maths is compulsory, the same score in maths as 85. Law, we need a 90%. For politics, international relations, geography, humanities, history, we would need 75%. For engineering courses, particularly, we would need 80%. If you decide to do a master's or integrated master's course with it, then it's about 85% as well. Now, another interesting point here in science and engineering is that we offer BSc Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence, or BSc Computer Science with Management, which is a very nice degree, good combination. Yes, and this is possible for students with commerce with maths also. So if someone's opted for a maths or a computer science, they can go for a BSc Computer Science degree. Also, with regards to humanities students, if the student has got psychology as a subject in class 12, they could go for a BSc Psychology program as well. So yes, it opens a lot of doors for the students who have who want to look into computer science or psychology as well, and don't necessarily want to do an engineering or a science-heavy degree. Again, so moving back to entry requirements, for most of the STEM courses is 80%, except MBBS, which is 90%. And yes, biology, BSc psychology, genetics, we all require around 80%, neuroscience as well. I will not touch upon postgraduate in depth, but the entry requirements would be as per the university you've graduated from. So for some universities, it's 60%. For others, it may be 80%, 65, 70% as well, depending on the tier of the university. Now, a couple of things I want to mention. We don't do in-year transfer. We don't do that. So it's a big no for us. And also certain universities, I think, especially certain schools, A-level equivalent or the IB equivalent is given clearly on the website with HL score or IL score as well. Right. So earlier that I had mentioned about the campus, I'll just quickly brief you through this, that we have a career and enterprise team, a gym facility, as well as the advice and counseling, student unions, three cafes and 2 restaurants as well, along with a 24-hour library. So yes, with regards to career enterprise team, they do about 100 plus events throughout the year, where you can interact with the universe, where you can interact with different companies that come to the campus, and they can definitely talk to you about networking opportunities, internship opportunities. Also, Queen Mary per se, we do a lot of workshops, from alumni talks or workshops on CV building or mock interview, etc. So it's a very gradual process, and it definitely helps you build up on your overall professional profile during the 3 years and even 2 years after you complete your degree. As I was mentioning earlier around accommodation, and this is the photo I was talking about earlier. This is the canal that runs by from that accommodation building. This is the undergrad accommodation. Uh, our accommodation applications open somewhere around March and they close in June. And then we start allocating places somewhere in July end or August first week on a first come, first serve basis. London, as you know, is an expensive city to live in. Therefore, the planning is very important part of your, student life, and the cost would vary depending on the room choice you pick. So, obviously, staying at the university cost is most subsidized in comparison to if you go with a private provider. I've already covered about the exceptional facilities that sets us apart and helps us being a Russell Group university. We have invested a lot of money, about 105 million, in making and curating a new maths lab, in a new maths building. We are currently working on a project for a School of Business and Management building, which should be ready by 2025. Also, we have an award-winning student village, which I've talked about earlier. The library is 24 hours. The gym is on the campus, where a lot of people do part-time work as well. So yes, as a student, you can work 20 hours part-time. So yes, students either work inside the campus as a student ambassador, in the gym or in the library, or they work outside in the London area, which is very well connected across. So with regards to our societies and clubs, I would say there are about 300 plus total societies and clubs, both academic and extracurricular, non-academic ones. So for instance, one interesting society is the Investment and Fund Society, where they trade on actual money. This is open to postgraduate students. We also have the Robotics Society or the Drama Society or K-pop, etc. as well. So it's a very Indian society is also there, and it's a very good opportunity to network with people and try to find out various opportunities that are there, both for you to enhance your personality as well as professional growth as well. You can find something called UniBuddy on our website, which provides you an opportunity to chat with people who are current students at Queen Mary. They are usually student ambassadors. They may not necessarily be from your particular country, but yes, you can always talk to them and get an insight into what student life is like. How are the exams or how are the exams, how are the assessments done, and so on. Yeah, to get a taste of what it's like for them being a student as well. Also, another fact that this was a study that was done recently is about 92% people get placed within 6 months after having graduated from a Russell Group university. And they are also most likely to get an extra 10% in their overall package in comparison to other universities that are there across UK. As I was mentioning earlier, we have a graduate route where you can extend your visa by 2 years after you complete your degree. And yes, you can work in the UK, you can look for work in the UK, or even change employer. So one thing you have to keep in mind that you can only avail this once in your student career. So either you do your master's straight away and avail this, or you do it straight after undergrad if you're doing an integrated master's and you don't want to do like wait for another year and want to do straight away get into work. So thank you for listening. I wanted to mention that one of the biggest USPs for us that works well or makes us popular, apart from our curriculum and Russell Group status, is our location. We are 15 minutes from central London and about 25 minutes away from Canary Wharf area. which is also popularly known as the Wall Street of UK. So it presents a great opportunity for students to explore things on their own or through Queen Mary Network. Say they were supposed to hypothetically drop their CV one afternoon, they could cover up to 20 firms within the Canary Wharf area and be done with from 2 to 5 p.m. Also, the LLM program at Queen Mary is taught in Holborn, which is popularly known as the Law District of UK. Again, that is also about 25 minutes away from us. So it makes your life very easy as a student. It's a very diverse environment, and you can definitely explore things in terms of entertainment as well. London is very popular um, for different plays and theaters and parks, etc. So yes, you can definitely enjoy that bit as well if you have done everything in the campus, or if you're not able to find anything through Queen Mary as well. So yes, that brings me to an end. So thank you for listening.